Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a preview of Grendel, the upcoming game from Off the Pages Games based on the classic comic book series. And as always, no disclaimers for my coverage. I don't take money from publishers, I just want to help you make an informed decision. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our weekly podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So Grendel is a 2 to 4 player, kind of Root-like, I would say, in that you have asymmetric factions doing a bit of area control combat with their own special ways of scoring and such. And it also has a solo bot, and the really cool thing is that each faction has its own asymmetric bot that does stuff similar to what the faction does. And today I'm going to be showing you the Argent bot. If you're not familiar with the comic, this is based on Grendel. It's about, at least the first kind of run, because there were different characters. It's about this guy who goes by Grendel. He's also a famous author. He's also like the best fighter in the world. He's kind of like a superhuman guy, and he's a total jerk. He's trying to dominate everybody. He's trying to control the criminal underworld. That's who I'm going to play as today. Great. And then Argent is his primary opponent in the early parts of the comics. He's kind of like a Wendigo / werewolf-ish Native American guy who's been alive for like 300 years. They fight a lot, and they have this big climactic battle. But yeah, so that's who I'm going to be playing as today, me and him. You'll notice, though, that you also have two of the other factions from the base game, the mob and the police out. They're just there kind of to take up space and to give us things to attack and such, which I will say I really appreciate just off the bat, because those of you who have played like the Root solo mode or just Root in general know that Root can be a little weird unless you have like enough units on the board, so you like have to throw in the Marquis de Cat and that kind of thing. Here, no matter what player count you play at, no matter which units and factions you use, you're always going to have a bunch of people to fight over. But how the game's going to go is we're going to have crime turns going back and forth where we'll each take a few actions. Those actions are primarily to remove other people's pieces and to put down our own tokens, because in the case of both Grendel and Argent, we're going to score based on the locations with our tokens in them. So that's the main thing we're trying to do, get rid of each other's tokens and put down our own. But at the same time, we'll be adding tokens, this is super cool, to these towers. There's one for each area, which is Manhattan, Queens, and the Brooklyn. And you drop them in here, and they are collecting, you kind of see like the mechanism down here, on this little rotating thing here. And these pieces act as a counterweight. And what happens is eventually, here, I'll just drop a whole bunch in there. Eventually, they overwhelm the counterweight. Apparently not yet. There we go. They overwhelm the counterweight. The thing drops and all the tokens come out. So what happens is you're putting in these tokens in these aggression towers. And when one of them pops, you basically get to spend the tokens you've built up as aggression to take actions in that area mainly. So in that case, Queens. And then after all the players have spent all their stuff from the tower, then you score Queens. So in this case, I would get 1 point for every place that I have a fear token in, and Argent would get 1 point for every place that he has his, I think they're ambush tokens, something like that. And then you can still mess around with Queens or whichever place popped after that, but you're not going to score it for a while. Once every tower has had a Mayhem phase where the stuff has overwhelmed it and it's dropped, Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Queens, that's what triggers the end of the game. And you do score each of the other two areas after you score the final one. So if like we did Manhattan, then Queens, and then finally Brooklyn, we would score Manhattan, Queens again. So it does encourage you not to just completely abandon them. But yeah, it's basically how the game works. So I'll kind of go through the turns for the bot and for me and explain the asymmetric stuff going on for each of us as we go. But a few big disclaimers before I start. First of all, stuff is very much in a prototype form. They are still developing it. A big shout out to Carl from Purple Moose Plays. He's the one who sent me the prototype after he was done with it. And he did so much work to like update stuff because they made a big rules change after he had or when he was doing his preview. They're just fine-tuning things, and the prototype is not quite up to date. Additionally, and this is a big one, they have a rating of difficulty for each matchup, which is super cool. You usually don't see that in these kind of solo modes. And in the case of Grendel versus Argent, where I'm Grendel and he's Argent, it is a 3-star max difficulty. So In my last game with the same two guys, I had 9 points at the end and he had 20, so he over doubled my score. Now, I did make some bad calls there and had some bad luck, so I'm hoping to come closer this time, but I fully expect to lose this game. Don't think that means that the solo mode is bad or anything, it just means that I'm playing a really tough matchup. Alternatively, if I switch it and I was playing Argent and he was Grendel, I think that's a 1-star, so I had a much easier time winning. And these are both, to be clear, factions that have a single figure running around beating people up. It's very different if you play as the mob or the cops, who are putting down tons of people all over the place and like moving around big armies. So it's almost akin to the Vagabond versus, Cats and Irie and that kind of stuff in Root. All right, but let's get into it. Argent, the bot, always starts the first turn. And how the bot works is they've got cards representing every single region on the board in Queens, Manhattan, and Brooklyn. And they're going to flip a location card for Queens and then do some actions there. Flip a location card in Manhattan, do some actions there. Flip a location card in Brooklyn, do some actions there. Eventually, once regions have been scored, like let's say when Queens is scored, they don't do that one anymore, and they'll do 1 turn in Manhattan, or 1 action, and 2 actions in Brooklyn. And then when there's only 1 thing left, they'll do all 3 of their actions there. So things tend to sort of accelerate and focus in on a certain region, but at first they're doing 1 of each. And in Argent's case, for the actual player version of Argent, it's kind of a push your luck. Here, I'll show you the upgrade cards. It's kind of a push your luck mechanic where you are flipping cards and some of them have skulls on the bottom and some don't. And if you get too many skulls, then you bust. You don't lose your actions, you just lose a bonus. But if you stop drawing before you get too many skulls, then you get a little bonus, and you get to resolve all of these actions in whatever order you want, 1 card at a time. So that's how Argent works in the competitive play, and the solo is pretty much the same. What you do is you flip for the first region, in this case Queen, so his target is space 15, and he's going to flip cards until he gets either 4 cards or until he gets any skulls. Okay, so there we go. We got 3 cards, 1 of them being a skull. The sort of average is like 2 to 3. I'm sorry, these are in sleeves. So let me slide that so you're not getting as much of the glare. Now, if this were a player, I could resolve these individual actions. With the bot, they're going to get to do multiple things for each action because they're inherently dumb and don't really know exactly where to go for things. So here we go. They are looking at 15, and first they're going to do the card draw action. So for a player, that would just be drawing a single one of these Mayhem cards, which can only be used in that Mayhem phase when one of the tower drops. But here, he's going to do this, which is a reclaim action. What it does is he's going to be putting out his ambush tokens somewhat blindly. He might have 4 in a region. And for all the factions, these tokens can be flipped to their shielded side. There are ways to remove these tokens so people aren't scoring, but if it's shielded, the first time you try to destroy it, it just flips. So when he reclaims, let's say he had 3 in an area, he pulls back all the extra ones, so he has more to place out, but he also shields the one that was left. So that's what his little hand thing does. Here it's doing nothing because he doesn't have very many things out yet. Oh, actually, this is the best to get this early. I got a little lucky this time because what would happen is if he resolves this during the planning phase, or the crime phase is what it's called, which is what's happening right now, he would take every single card that didn't have a skull. Remember, he's going to keep on flipping cards until he gets 4 cards or 1 skull. And he would shuffle them back into his deck, so he would give himself the chance to have much bigger turns later. So this was a fantastic first pull, because he gets no more benefit. He literally got nothing from this card. Love that. As you resolve cards, you discard them. Okay, next one, this is a slide action. For regular players, this would let you take one of your tokens and move it into an adjacent space to try to spread out your influence and score more. For Argent, he is going to place one of his tokens. So he just puts that and places it in his current spot, 13. Then he's going to move to the number, and then he's going to try to destroy a captain. That's the person with suits. Those are bigger, stronger bosses for each faction. And if he can't destroy a captain, he's going to try to destroy a token, one of mine in this case. Now, note that he didn't move to 15 until his second icon, so he placed this before doing that. Then he'll go over here, and, oh, man, seriously? There's no captain there, so he will go after. That's literally the only fear token I had on the board. That's annoying. All right, and then his last action is punching. So here he's going to punch one thing. Leftmost takes priority, so the smaller ones are grunts, the little officers or mob guys with shotguns for those factions. If there's none of those, he would attack a token, take away one of my fear tokens. And if there's none of those, he would get rid of a captain. So in this case, it doesn't really matter which one he does because they aren't coming back. These people just get removed when they're non-player factions. So one of the cops is gone. He's going to put down another ambush for scoring. And then he would get to pull tokens back, but he does not have anything doubled up yet. All right, so that was Queens. Next, we do Manhattan, because remember, each of his turns is going to be 3 things getting resolved. Oh, and we got a skull right away. That's nice. Okay, so this is the destroy a token icon. And here it says a 1. This means he is going to put this is called an aggression token, into the tower matching his current district before he moves. Then he's going to try to get rid of a token. Then he's going to put a token down. And then finally, he's going to move to space 1 in Manhattan. Now for Argent, because he's currently in Queens, everything he's doing is in Queens until he moves. So we get our first Queens token. The 1 value tokens are worth the least when Mayhem happens, but they're the biggest and chunkiest, so they make it faster for the tower to fall, compared to the 2s, which are in the middle, and 3s, which are the tiniest. So like you can kind of prioritize trying to make it happen faster or trying to put more stuff in it faster. Okay, and then he was putting a token down, and then he's moving to space 1. Which is up here at the top of Manhattan. All right, and then finally for his Brooklyn card, he's got 6. And he's flipping until he gets 4 or a skull. Okay, so except for that first turn, which actually ended up not being that bad. This isn't terrible. So this is a lore, which would let him pull another faction's figure into either a space with his token or with him himself. I'm explaining these icons because I'll be doing them in my turn. It's all the same icons. Oh yeah, so what's he do for lore? He puts his 3 in. He's only got 1 of those, so that is going into Manhattan, his current area. And it's good for me to pay attention because I might want to try to match him. So he's put a little bit in Queens and a lot in Manhattan. Then he's going to immediately go to 6 in Brooklyn, and then he'll try to get rid of a token or a mob there. And his own token is there, so he's not going to do that. So he'll get rid of the mob token. And yeah, I was missing 1 mob token, so I put this little thing to remind me. So there we go. There's supposed to be 2 there. I just had 1 and a thing to remind me. All right, so that was it for Argent's first round, and that's pretty much how things are going to go until the Mayhem phases. But now let's get to how Grendel works. So I do start with 2 cards. These just hang out until the Mayhem phases when I use them. So Grendel has these 3 tracks: Speed, Shock Fork, and Hunter Rose. Hunter Rose is his alter ego in the comics, who is an author. And I draw from a bag, so there's a little bit of a bag puller. I draw 3 tokens. In this case, I got 1 of each type. There are Shock Fork, Speed, you can see the icons, and Hunter Rose matching tokens. And then one at a time, I place them on any of the tracks. It does not have to match, although you'll get a bonus if it does. I'll show you that in a second. And when you put it on a track, you get to resolve the icon underneath, in this case, moving to. But then when you place more tokens on the track, you get to resolve everything underneath. So the second time I activate, I get both of these. The third time I activate, I get 3 of them. And when you fill a track, you get to activate all 4, but you also get to level up. You get to trash 2 of these if you want to, and add 2 much more powerful tokens to your bag. Now, why do I want to match the correct things? Because I get a bonus if I do. Whenever I put a Rose in the Hunter Rose area or a Speed in the Speed area, it lets me put one of my tokens in a tower where I have presence. Presence meaning where I am or where one of my fear tokens is. Whereas for Shock Fork, when I put something down there, I get to draw another token and then discard one for my 3 of the turn to try to get the right things or to draw a better token. So what are these actions? Let's go through them. You've already seen several of them. Drawing a card for the Mayhem phase, sliding one of my fear tokens, flipping a fear token to its shielded side so it's harder to remove, and luring a figure to one of my tokens or to my character. This lets me move 2 spaces. This is a special action called Dash for Grendel, which lets him move from a spot with a fear token to any other spot with a fear token through any number of contiguous fear tokens. So he can kind of dash around where he has influence. The shield you already saw. And this is to degrade one of Argent's tokens, that remove it or flip it if it's on the shield side. And then these punches, these icons, by the way, are legacy icons. Some of them don't apply anymore. But a punch lets you destroy one of the basic grunts. There is no way until the Mayhem phase for me to destroy one of the captains or to push Argent himself around. And yeah, luring and moving. Cool. So ideally, I want to try to get some stuff going. I want to start putting some fear down. I want to mat so I can get some aggression tokens in. And I guess I'll do one of each and then maybe try to upgrade next time. So I'm going to do speed first. So I can resolve the 2 movement and the aggression drop in whatever order I want. Because currently, thanks to Argent, I have no fear tokens on the board, so I could only drop the aggression in Manhattan. So I'll do the aggression drop and then do the move. I am going to drop my 3 to match his, and when he had like a 1 in queens, just so I'm not like way outclassed. But then for the 2 move, let's go over to Brooklyn, sure. Okay, then next I'll do my shock fork, so I get to punch a minion in my area. Let's punch the mob boss. And for most characters, except not necessarily the non-player characters, like Argent does not do this, you get a bonus whenever you get rid of other enemies' pieces. In Grendel's case, he just gets to put down fear if he destroyed somebody else's token, if he destroys one of their grunts. If he destroys a captain in the Mayhem phase, he gets to put down a token, and whoops, that one is not right. Flip it to its shielded side. So here, I just get a basic token from defeating the mob guy. And then because I played shock fork to shock fork, I get to draw a token and then put one back. You know what? I will put back the rose 1 and use speed again, I think, because I want to build up to where I'm removing his tokens and guarding my own. So for my third action, I will do that, even though I don't really need to move a lot yet. This is useless to me, the dash, because I don't have enough tokens to move between yet. Now, it is smart sometimes to go to places that he's already been, because you know he's not coming back there. So I think I will go over it here, although he might punch the cop, or even like punch me before he leaves, and I want to be able to punch the cop to drop my token here. So maybe for the moment, I'll go over here. It's nice to have captains to guard your stuff as well, because often he prioritizes hitting them instead of your tokens. And I get to drop the first token in Brooklyn. I'll do a 2. You only have a single 3, a whole bunch of 2s, and then 4 1s. And again, unless I'm trying to make a tower drop immediately, the 2 is the way to go. All right, and that is it for me. We'll try to get 2 more speeds next round to get some upgrades and do some other stuff. All right, we come back to Argent. I really want to call him Grendel because he's like the monstrous one, kind of like Grendel from Beowulf. But nope, that's not right. Okay, so he's targeting 13 in queens. And we're flipping until he gets a skull. Oh my gosh. All right, so 3 identical ones, the move ones. So he's going to do this 3 times, which probably will actually work out in my favor because he didn't have a lot to do there. So, oh crap, maybe it's not going to work out in my favor. So he's going to put a 2 token down for each of these and then move to the number, in this case, the 13 space of queens, and then get rid of a grunt if there's any there. So because the aggression is first, he's putting this in Brooklyn, so he's matched me there. And then he's teleporting to 13 and there's no grunt. And then for the second card, he's doing the exact same thing. And then for the third card, he's doing the exact same thing. So the other 2 tokens are both going in queens. Yikes. That puts him, to like 5 in there, I think. So I definitely need to put something in there. I mean, it's okay for him to win an area. Like I said, he beat me soundly last time, so it might not matter what I do. Okay, next is Manhattan. He's going to space 3, which is currently empty. That's where I started. And, oh, he just got a single card. That's lovely. And this one is a punt. So he's going to punt somebody into space, which is great, because currently in 13, there is nobody. He's going to put another token. Oh, he's not even moving. That's interesting. Yeah, so even though he had card 3, he's never going there in this case. But yeah, he puts down a token, then he reclaims, which now is actually going to affect a few places. So he looks for every place where he has more than 1, because 1's enough to score. The others don't really do him anything. And he takes them back to his supply, but he flips the remaining 1 to its shielded side. So now it's way more difficult to get rid of. Okay, and last in Brooklyn, he's going to 11. There's a couple grunts there. And okay, this is the last card of his deck. It's also his upgrade card. So this is something that the real Argent does in the multiplayer game. He gets to upgrade cards, and he can actually call his deck. All right, so here you go. This is also going to stop his turn. So this goes to the top of his deck for the solo bot. And yes, so if this was a player and he got a 1 skull upgrade card, by the way, this looks like an upgrade card because they replace it in the solo mode, so he's a little bit harder. In the normal game, his upgrade is also a skull card, but none of that matters. Yeah, so if he wanted to, he could replace a skull from his deck with this new upgraded skull so that he would be drawing better cards as the game goes along. Okay, so he's going to do the upgrade action, which, oh, I already did. Never mind. And then he's doing this to finish out, which means he's putting a 1 in queens. That could pop. He's been putting a lot of stuff in there, right? And then he can't destroy anything where he is because he's already got a token there. He's putting a token there. And then he's finally teleporting to Brooklyn. I've been getting a little lucky with what he's been doing. I mean, he's certainly got some stuff, but he's not like dominating any region. All right, now it's my turn. I would love to get speed. Okay, I mean, I think we're going to double do speed just to upgrade, but I didn't get 3 things that match speed. Okay. I mean, I could do the shock fork and hope that I get another speed. Yeah, that's probably smart to do. So let's do that. All right, so I'm going to do shock fork first. So I get to draw a token and then put 1 back. And now I got another 100 rows. I'll put that back in. And then I get to do a lore and an attack, or an attack and a lore. All right, so remember, like, putting stuff with the enemies protects my stuff quite a bit. So let's defeat them, which immediately drops one of my tokens down. And then let's lure this captain. I mean, I got double captains. Do I really need 2 captains? Well, whatever. It's fine. Oh, actually, you know what? Never mind. That's not good. Because I forgot. You don't actually score in 2-player and in solo in locations where there are 3 faction types. So, like, if there are mob and cops and me, I won't score. Same thing for the bot. So, instead, let's maybe pull another mob person down. Yeah, that seems smarter. Okay, then next, let's go and do my speed one. So I can shield any token anywhere on the board. 8 and 10. Which ones has he done? Oh, he hasn't been to either of them. But this one's more protected because it's a captain. So I'll flip that one over. Okay, and then I can move 2. I can also do my dash thing, but I don't want to. I want to be here because I'm about to blow that up. And because it matches, I'll put 2 in Brooklyn. Not dropping yet. Okay, and then finally, I'll finish up with this. So I do the upgrade last, but I can do 2 move, I can dash, I can shield, and I can destroy in whatever order I want. So let's destroy his unguarded one here, and I get to replace it with my own, and I'll shield the exact same one, because again, it doesn't have a captain to help it out. Then I can move 2 and dash. I feel like I should go to another area, because I'm actually doing really good in Brooklyn. Should I go to Queens or Manhattan? Well, I can get to Manhattan. I can't get to Queens. So sure, let's just move here. All right, now I get to upgrade. So I get to add 2 tokens of these special types. So 2 things about these that are awesome. First of all, they count as all 3 types. So no matter what track you put them on, you get the bonus. And the second thing is they have an icon in the middle, which is an action you get to do. And by the way, these are definitely the 2 I'm getting against Argent. These let me get those remove his token things, which is most important to stop him from scoring and give me a chance to score. So I'm adding both of those to the bag. And then I clear out this row so I can keep on putting tokens in it, but I can trash to some more likely. I mean, I'm doing more speed. Oh, this one lets me slide my tokens and guard them, and getting more cards for the Mayhem is good. I mean, I'd kind of rather get rid of a shock fork, but here, let's get rid of 1 of each before the speed tokens go back in. All right, pretty cool turn. Now we come back to our buddy. He's doing number 14 in Queens, and he does need to shuffle his deck, including his new upgraded card. All right, and he's getting a move and a slide and a punch. Stopped at 3. So move's going to drop a 2 in Brooklyn, where he currently is. Did not drop yet. And then he's moving to, oh wait, where is it? Move. Yeah, he's moving to 14, and he's destroying a grunt, of which there are several. Oh, good. He didn't leave a token in 11. I like that. Okay, then for the slide, he is putting a token in 14, and then he's moving. He already is there. And then he destroys a captain first, which there is one. So boop. Okay, and then finally for his punch, he's destroying the last grunt there, and he's putting a second token down. Then he's retrieving his tokens, which flips that one. That one also goes away, even though it doesn't get him anything. He just wants to have 1 shielded token max in each area. Because eventually, when he's doing really well, which he did last game, he can just dominate everything. Man, he is eating queens alive, but he's nowhere else. So, like, that's not the worst thing. Okay, next is Manhattan, which I was just about to start in. He's going to 4. And, oh, there's his card draw one. I'll show you that in a second. He got it early again, so not as bad as it could be. And that. So the card draw effect first does the retrieve, and then it does what I'd said. Every non-skull card gets shuffled back in. If you draw that at the end, right before you reshuffle, it's friggin' terrible. Here he's getting 2 cards back, so it's not as bad as it could be. All right, and then, oh, he's going to drop a 1 in Queens. This could make it fall. He's put so freaking much in there. Yep. Oh, no, this is not good. Do I have anything in there? All right, and then he tries to get rid of a token in his space. There isn't one. Then he drops a token in his space. And finally, he's moving to 4 in Manhattan. So that's the thing. Like, sometimes, even though he was on the Manhattan card, he did everything in Queens. You know, since he is the starting player, he's going to finish out his Brooklyn turn. And then I'm going to get an entire turn as well before the Queens Mayhem gets resolved. So player count, like, or who is the first player is not an automatic bonus. Okay, so he did Manhattan, so now he's doing Brooklyn, going toward 10, and he's getting, okay, just 2, so a slide and then a punch. So slide says he puts a token down in Manhattan, then he's going to move to 10 and destroy somebody. Oh man, are you serious? This is, so we would have destroyed a captain first, but there isn't one, then a token. So luckily he just flipped mine. Oh, and then super lucky, this one lets him punch first a grunt, then a token. So the cop protects me. Like I said, the NPCs are basically your shields in this mode. And then he puts that down, and he gets to pull stuff back where it's doubled up. Okay, and he takes the little Queens thing that dropped. This is the counterweight. In the final game, they're not going to have them based on player count. Instead, it's always going to be the same counterweight, but you're going to add some like neutral tokens to each of them to have them fall at a faster rate at lower player count games. But this is going over to his board to remind us that he's going to act first in the Mayhem phase in a second. Now, since I'm the second player, I still get to take a whole turn. The big problem is that I cannot add aggression to a triggered tower. And I don't know if, did I put anything in Queens? Well, we'll see how it goes. I want to try to at least get to Queens and do something there, right? So he can't just... I mean, he already has 3 out of the 4 places that are scoring there. So it kind of is what it is. Ooh, I didn't get any of my upgrades. I could still do Shock Fork. Okay. And when actually drawing a card right before Mayhem is not a bad thing. So sure. We do this. We get to do aggression in Manhattan where we are. So sure, let's drop a 2 in there. You can, by the way, have another one trigger, and you do the one Mayhem, but then you each get a turn before the next one that already triggered goes. So you always get some regular turns in between Mayhems. You don't just have Mayhem, Mayhem, Mayhem. All right, I also get to draw a Mayhem card. We'll get to what those do in a second. Okay, but then I want to do my forks where I am now, and I want to do both things as forks. Oh, actually, I can, let's do this, because I get to draw and discard. So, we'll leave that. I might get lucky and get another fork or a wild, or a speed. I think I'm still going to put it there, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Well, yeah, it doesn't really matter. All right, but I get to punch, lure, punch. All right, so I remember I like the captain. I mean, I really would like to have multiple of both things. So let's, he's not scoring here yet because there's 3 different factions there. So, but then again, that's not the one that's about to happen. So let's punch, lure, I can lure, I can't forget, I can lure to my tokens as well. So this one's in danger right now. So let's lure the captain over here because again, for several of his actions, that'll stop it from getting destroyed. But then for the punch, I'll, do the 2 I can because you can't hit captains, and I get a fear for each of them. Okay, and then I get to move, punch, lure, punch, and then I'll get a level up in a second. Notice that none of this is getting me anywhere near to Queens, which is not ideal. And maybe I shouldn't have moved, but I just really want to get level ups. Those are so dang good. All right, so for the move, I'll certainly go here. For the lure, that's already shielded. Let's get this captain onto that place. Although, that is going to put more factions than I want. So actually, let's lure this guy over here. Because that should fully protect mine, most likely. And it's also putting 3 things there, so he won't score and I won't score as of right now. And then we got punch again. There we go. Lots of fear. Now this is where the Hunter Rose track would be great to get free slides to spread these things out and shields to make them harder to hit. So that's, I think, the next one I'll try to do. And I get to upgrade again. I'll definitely get rid of, I think, 2 forks this time because I really want the aggression ones before the game ends. So these go back in the bag. And I think maybe shields or movement. Let's go for shields. It's really hard to keep my tokens on the board sometimes with this guy. All right, and with that, we will go into the Mayhem round in Queens. I am 99% sure that Argent's just going to literally destroy everything in here and get the max of 4 points, but that's just how it goes sometimes. We are definitely beating him in every other area of the board, so when those pop, maybe we'll be in a good place. All right, so let's do our first Mayhem phase, and this is actually halfway through the game or more usually, because remember, we're already close to other Mayhems being triggered over here. And that's what I figured. I didn't think I put anything in there. So Argent's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, no. And these go back to his supply, so they'll be available again. And this tower is out of the game, so we aren't going to do anything with that anymore. So their aggression meter gets moved to that 7 value. And this little Mayhem turn thing gets put like that. We'll explain what that means. And then also we're going to perform what's called a reset on the Queen's deck. You normally only do this when an entire deck has been gone through and you need to draw another card, but you do it at the beginning of each Mayhem turn just for the region that is being scored. And basically he's going to intelligently look at which of the areas in Queens can he score in so far. Remember, you score anywhere for Argent and for Grendel where you have one of your tokens and where in 2-player there aren't 3 factions total. So he's going to score here, he's going to score here. 2 factions, he's going to score here. Even if you put a token down right now, he would not score here, but he's definitely not scoring without a token. So he's going to take all the cards that represent the locations he could already score in, that he's already good in, 14, 13, and 15, and then he'll shuffle all the cards that he doesn't have scoring potential in yet, which is literally just 12. So we know the first card he's going to draw is 12. Now, meanwhile, I got 0 aggression from that, which is pretty terrible. And the thing is, if you get 0 aggression, like literally nothing, you cannot do any actions in the Mayhem phase, but you also don't score at all. Now, it doesn't really matter in Queens because I don't have anything there, but you do have the option at the beginning of each Mayhem phase to discard up to 2 of your cards for 1 aggression each. So looking at my cards, these can only be played in the Mayhem phase. Let me tell you what they do. So the Celerity one says I get to punch twice. This is destroying the minions, the grunts, but not the captains, in a space that already has a fear token, which in this scenario is not that great because I would just get more fear tokens than I need. So you can discard up to 2 cards to add aggression. I will discard this one. Now, these other 2, I could discard one more, but I don't think I want to, because Seek and Destroy could actually get me into Queens to score. It says place Grendel in any space on the map, and then punch a grunt in that space, which would also get me a fear token. And then Spread is a nice power for later, too. It says move 1 fear token up to 2 spaces away, because I have a lot of places that have multiple fear tokens right now. So I'm only going to discard 1 card, but that means I will get a turn, and I will get to actually play one of these cards and like do some stuff and score. But because Argent is the one that triggered the Queen's Tower, he's going to take the first turn. And on each of your Mayhem turns, you have to spend 3 aggression. That's what these are here to kind of help you with. And then next turn, you'll spend 3 aggression. And then once you have a turn where you don't have at least 3 aggression, you just spend all of it. And you score when you have zeroed out your aggression. So after he's done his 3 turns, he will score in Queens. So what he does for each of his aggression points is he spends a single point, he flips the top card of the area, which is the 12 we knew about, and he keeps discarding cards from his deck until he gets one with a skull. So everything else is ignored, so he's doing a movement action. Everything else is discarded. And you ignore any add aggression instructions because you can't add aggression to Queens at this point. So then he's going to move to the 12 spot, and he's going to destroy a mob there. Or not a mob, a grunt, so that gets rid of one of the cups. Okay, and now he wants to do another aggression, and still 12 is the only place that he can't already score in, so he's just going to build the deck with 12, and hey, he's doing 12 again. And he'll once again, there we go, he's getting one of those, which will let him destroy a token, nothing doing, let him put one of his ambush tokens down, but he still can't score there because there's 3 factions there, and then move, which doesn't matter, and then he's going to do it one more time, he's only going to 12, because he still can't score there since there's 3 factions, and he's doing a shield action. All right, shield action, that lets him put another token down there, and he gets to, destroy the captain, which will mean that now he can score there. So he's still going to keep on taking aggression actions in Queens. Now, this is unlike a player. Players can technically do actions anywhere. They don't have to be limited to the area it's going to be scored. But the bot is not that smart, of course, to compensate. They get to do way more stuff than a player ever would. All right, so now it's Grendel's turn, and I can spend up to 3 aggression, although I've only got 1. For 1 aggression, I can punch a grunt. For 3 aggression, I can punch a captain, and this is the only time that Grendel can get rid of captains during Mayhem. For 2, I can degrade a token, turning it from its shield side or getting rid of it entirely. Remember, I get my bonus of putting down tokens when I do that kind of stuff. And then for whatever the indicated value is, I can play a card, which is what I'm going to do with my single aggression. I can go to any space on the map, and I can punch a grunt there. And there's only one place that'll do anything positive for me, and that is right there. So I'll punch this mob guy and get a fear token down that hopefully Argent won't destroy. I'll have a, 50-50 chance of that happening. But because I am out of aggression, because I am out, I score immediately. And there's only 2 factions here, and I've got that. So I get 1 point out of a possible 4, because there's only 4 regions in Queens. So yes, Argent's going to get the full 4, but it's not like I'm drastically behind. Although don't forget, Queens is also scored for him at the end of the game. So if I leave things how they are, he's going to get another, 4 versus 1 swing, or he might destroy my token and get 4 points versus 0. We'll see how it goes. But that's it for me. So he's just going to do 4 Mayhem all at once. All right, so he has to draw again. He's resetting again, but now he is scoring in every place. So when you're scoring everywhere, you just shuffle them all up because it's going to be random anyway, and he's going to kind of bounce around and maybe do stuff. So first, we're hoping he doesn't, there's 15. That's where I am, so he might come and destroy my token, which would definitely suck. And this is for his first of 4 Mayhem. He's getting a punch, which actually has him attack something in the areas in. So he punches out the cop that's still there. Then he puts down another ambush, and then he does his little pull back and flip thing. So he's literally got a protected shield in every space of Queens. But I got lucky because that was his 15, which means he's going to go somewhere else for his next spend and not mess with me. 14, and we again flip until we get, there's another move, a skull. All right, let's move into 14 and punch on something, which is nothing. All right, and then he's going to do a 12, which is right back where he was. He's doing that one, which puts down an extra token and moves. And he just keeps going because I'm done. And he's going to 13. Yeah, so like this is a little potentially silly, but it's just how things go sometimes. And he's going to put down a token and move to 13. Okay, cool. Oh, wait, I can't forget to score for him. He gets 4 because there are only 4 areas there. All right, so that is the first Mayhem. And we're going to go now until Brooklyn and Manhattan have gone. We both took a turn, so he's going to come back and take the first turn. I mean, that's how it's always going to happen, since even if I started the Mayhem, it would still go back to him after it was done. Now, because Queens has been scored, it gets taken away. We will use it at the very end of the game because he gets like one action to try to kind of bolster his position before Queens gets scored at the end of the game. Because remember, after the third Mayhem is triggered, the other 2 will go. So now he's going to start taking 1 turn for Manhattan, but 2 for Brooklyn. And then once one of these 2 has been triggered, he'll take 3 for the remaining one. So stuff could get pretty hairy here. Okay, so Manhattan, he's going for 5, and we're back to the normal mode of doing things. He got 3 cards. So first he's doing this one, which pulls back his ambush tokens and does the planning thing where he gets, oh, okay, so he had mostly had skulls. He only gets 2 cards shuffled back in. Okay, and then it's a hook, which would put his 3 in, but his 3's still in. I think it was Manhattan. So that's good for me. Then he's going to move to, it was 5 Manhattan, right? And punch a grunt there. Oh, no, sorry. He's going to move to 5 and then, oh, crud, get rid of a token as his first preference, which is one of mine. Get out of there, dude. Okay, then for his last action, gosh darn it, a grunt would have guarded my token, but a captain doesn't because it's afterwards. So he gets rid of my other fear token there, and he puts an ambush token down of his own, but there's no reprieve or pullback to do, so that was annoying, but not the worst, I guess. Okay, but now the first of 2 Brooklyn turns. He's trying to go to 9. And, oh, he's getting, oh my gosh. Yeah, he got a full set of 4. We stop even though he didn't get a skull. First, he's doing a move action, which is put a 2 in, move to 9, and punch a grunt. And remember, he does the 2 where he currently is, not where he's moving to. Manhattan didn't fall yet. Okay, he goes to 9, punches a grunt. Okay, next he's doing this one, which puts down a token, stays in 9, and destroys something there. No. And then he's leveling up after pulling back his ambush tokens and upgrading them to shields, which he doesn't have any of. All right, so we put that on top. We'll get to that in a second. And he does another move one, which is 2 more, but in Brooklyn this time, still safe. Okay, and then he's staying in 9 and can't punch anybody there. Okay, and last Brooklyn is in 7, and that's his new one. Okay, that was not as bad. Okay, so for the shield, he puts another token down. He moves to 7, and then he destroys a captain there. Interesting. And then for this one, he puts a 1 in Brooklyn. This might trigger it. Hopefully not. Gosh darn it. All right, I definitely have at least something in Brooklyn, but definitely not as much as him. Then he would destroy a token. He gets to put a token down, and he would move to 7 again. Okay, so once again, I'm going to get my turn, but I can't put anything in Brooklyn, like any aggression, I mean. But I think I at least have some more stuff there. We'll see how it goes. All right, so I drew, ooh, this is nice. Got a speed, a wild, and another wild. One of them protecting mine and one of them destroying one of his. So I should be able to get into some fun stuff here. I could upgrade if I did all that, but that seems like maybe not the best thing to do. I think I'll do a speed just to move and then both the other ones here to shore up my stuff. Yeah, so let's do this one first. So I get to do a drop. Oh, but I can't unless I'm in Manhattan. Yeah, because right now I'm in Queens, and if I go into Brooklyn, I can't put aggression in there either. So I guess it's kind of a waste either way, isn't it? Well, I guess alternatively I could move into Manhattan, but then there's no way for me to get... Well, I guess, I mean, I can move into Brooklyn later. Yeah, okay. So for the 2 move from the speed action, I'll go to here, I guess, and then I will put a 2 into Manhattan, which is not triggered yet. Okay, then I'll put this one here, so I get to take a guard action, I get to draw a card, and I get to slide one of my tokens, plus I get to do another aggression place. So I'll drop 2 into Manhattan, okay? 9 is the max you can gain from aggression, by the way, so I'm pretty sure I'll get to that kind of no matter what. All right, so I get a token move. So let's go there. I got the card draw already. I get to flip a token. Let's see. This one isn't scoring for either of us yet, and it's definitely more protected. So let's flip that one. And then, actually, I was going to do that, but I can destroy one of Argent's things if I do that, which seems maybe better. So I can move 2, which I'll do. Then I can destroy a token, which lets me put one of my own down. I also get the bonus to drop another. Wow, it's still not going. Although again, even if it did, we would both get a full turn before we resolved that mayhem after the Brooklyn one. Okay, and then I've got my dash ability to move through any number of things. So yeah, I can get like right into the heart of things. Seems like this is the best space to be for the moment. And okay, that's going to be it as we go into mayhem. Argent will be first. Let's see how bad this is. Okay, I have a bit. I have 4 and he has 7. It's not as bad as I thought. And I'm definitely not discarding cards to do anything because look, Dominance lets me destroy even a guarded, like a shielded token, which is amazing. And remember, with my bonus, it'll let me put my own one down. And then move 1 fear token up to 2 spaces. Seems pretty great as well. All right, he is doing a reset in Brooklyn. So just going through here, I'll show the map. The only places he's happy, remember it has his token and not 3 factions, is 9 and 7. So those end up in the discard pile. He is in 10, but so are 2 other factions, so it does not count for scoring. Yeah, so 9 and 7 are gone, and he shuffles the rest of these. All right, he's at 7, so he's going to flip his first. So he's doing 8, and we're flipping. He's doing a punch, which means he attacks something here. He puts down an ambush, and then he does his little thing. So he's going to shield that. He's going to shield that. I think those are the only ones he has doubled up on the board. So he didn't actually move to 8. Next, he's doing 11. And that's first skull that came up. So he's going to destroy a token here. Then he's going to put one down. Then he's going to move to 11. But that's it. So really not getting points yet, which is great. And not threatening me yet. That's my favorite. Okay, and then for 4, or for his 4th point, he's in 6. And he's doing a shield, which is going to put down a token, which is not scoring yet. Then he's moving to 6. Over here where I am, and then he wants to attack a captain, and if not a captain, a token. So that one's not shielded anymore. Okay. All right, so that's it for 3. He's got 4 next time. Okay, now I've got 4, and I have to use 3 of them. I think I want to use the spread as my very last action before I go to 0 and score to grab one of the doubled up tokens from Manhattan and move it in here. So with these 3, I want to try to, I don't know, maybe beat something up and then like use dominance maybe. And I'm really getting to my action options for movement last time. Each faction moves differently. For Grendel, 1 aggression lets him move up to 2, but as much as he wants for free, he can use his dash ability for 0. So I can like literally, in between other actions, go across any contiguous group of my tokens and go wherever I want. So yeah, for 2 of my 3 aggression I can spend right now, I can get rid of that and get another fear there. For 1, I can move there, and then for another one, I can play dominance to get rid of that one. What do I do for my 3rd point? Here, how about this? I'm going to spend 1 to punch this guy, get a 2nd fear token down, defend myself a bit more. Then I'm going to spend 1 to move, and finally I'm going to spend 1 to play dominance, which trashes it even though it's defended, and as my bonus, it gets to put my own down. And then even though I can't spend any more aggression, I can still move, because I don't really want to be here anymore. I might as well get out of here. And I can go through the chain of things, all the way back up to Manhattan, since that's clearly going to be the focus of action in 2 seconds for the final mayhem. But I'm not scoring yet because I got 1 aggression left. So Argent's going to get to do 3 things. Then I'll get to do my 1 final thing, probably playing that spread card. And then Argent will get to do his final thing before he scores. All right, so next in Brooklyn is 10. And, oh, you got one right away, a move. So it says he's going to move straight to 10 and punch a grunt, which isn't there. I love those wasted actions. All right, he's doing his thing again because he went through the entire deck. So he's not going to keep 7 in because only 2 factions and he's there. But here he's not scoring yet because there's 3 factions. Here he's not scoring yet because there's 3 factions. He's not scoring anywhere. Wow, this is actually pretty bad for him right now. So he's only got 7. So that goes straight to the discard pile. He shuffles the rest up, and this is his 2nd mayhem this time. And okay, he's going to 8 with that one. So he says first he destroys 1 token here. Ha ha ha, that's fine. Then he puts a token here, and then he moves to 8. Which is guarded, and then for his last one, he's thinking about 10 with a punch. Oh, the punch is one where he doesn't move, so it's grunt, then my thing. Okay, good, so he just punches the grunt, but then he does put his own token down, so we'll score, and then he does the pullback thing. I think that's it. All right, so where is he scoring now? As he goes, he's got 1 stuff left to spend. So he's going to score here. He's going to score here. Not scoring there yet. Not scoring there yet. So he's only getting 2. I'm getting 1. Oh, I'm not scoring there either. Oh, I'm getting 3. So yeah, it's not that much better, especially with him being 3 points ahead from the other one. All right, for my final Mayhem, before I score, I will do spread to move 1 fear token up to 2 spaces away. And I've got these doubled up ones. Let's see. Going there wouldn't help because he's already not scoring from the 2 factions. Oh, I guess going here would deny him, at least for the moment. So sure, let's move. That's just 1 space. There we go. Okay, now I score. So 1 here, nothing here because there's 3 factions, nothing here because there's 3 factions, 2, 3. So I've only just caught him, and that's before he scores. All right, now he's got 1 final point to spend. Where is he going? 11, where I am not. That's one of the places with 3 factions stopping him from scoring. And he didn't get anything with skulls in his thing, so he's reshuffling. All right, and his second card is a shield. All right, so it says he puts a thing down here. Then he moves to 11. Oh, geez. And then he would punch a captain or a token, neither of which is here. So that was lucky. He did not get another score out of that. So where is he scoring? No. 3 factions. 1. No. 3 factions. Wow. No 3 factions. He only got 1. Ooh. Might be able to beat him this time, or at least it's not going to be a, whatever it was, 9-20 blowout. All right. So Brooklyn is also out of play for his actions, although, he's starting in Brooklyn, so he might do something, as he takes his turn in Manhattan, or 3 actions, I should say. So yeah, he's going to get a lot done. I mean, he's barely there, but I'm barely there too. I've only got 2 points in Manhattan right now. But don't forget, Queens is going to get scored again, and he's dominating in Queens, so I don't know. Still don't think I'll catch up, but since this is like the hardest matchup he can do, I don't feel too bad about that. All right, so his first action is Manhattan, number 2. And, he's stopping right away. Nice, because he got a skull. Oh, this is cool. Manhattan says he would put a 2 in, but he's still in Brooklyn, so he doesn't do it yet. Then he moves to the 2 space, and then he tries to beat up a mob, which he definitely can. Doesn't matter too much, I guess. Okay, now he needs a reset for his second action. Currently, he is scoring in 5, so let's do the other ones. Okay, second action is going to be, targeting 2 again, where he is. Well, I figure he'll probably do something. Okay, he's getting that, and a punch. So this first lets him return tokens. He got 1 back from Brooklyn. Then he gets to shuffle. Oh, just 1 card. That was nice. He's definitely not benefited from that as much as he has in other games that I've played, because he can get a ton of actions otherwise. Okay, then he's doing his hook, which will put his 3 in, but it's already in there. So he's not adding anything to Manhattan yet. This could be big. If we just get a ton of aggression and he doesn't, we could maybe spend some of our extra actions to run into Queens, Brooklyn or Queens, and undo some of the stuff he's doing. But yes, he's traveling to where he already is, and then he's punching the other grunt there, but not putting down a token yet. Interesting. All right, so final Manhattan is 1. And whoa, he got a skull right away. This is lucky. Okay, but he is putting a 1 in, but only a 1. He's getting rid of stuff. He is putting his own down, and then he'll move to the 1 space where he doesn't have anything yet. All right, let's see if this triggers it. I figured it would, but I think I can't see until my turn starts, but I think I've got a ton in there. And I don't know if he has much, which might just give me the edge. But yeah, he did put a token down, and then he goes into 1, which is, a good place for him to be in. All right, so I get my final regular turn before we go into our final Mayhem, and then he gets to do a little bonus action in the 2 other places. Okay, I didn't get any special ones. I don't need aggression anymore, so the bonus for doing these things doesn't matter that much. I mean, what do I want to do? I guess I want to do speed twice, because then I can get a destroy thing. I can shield up a bunch of my stuff. And then we do 1 over here to get a slide of 1 of my tokens, and also defend, so I can get a lot of defense. That seems pretty great. Yeah, so let's go here first, and a move. It doesn't matter too much. I just want to be here to destroy that. I don't get the bonus of aggression, because everything's already triggered. I do get a shield, so sure, let's just start shielding up all of Manhattan if we can. Okay, I'll do another one of these, which is going to get me an upgrade. But first, I can trash his thing. Love that. And that lets me put 1 out. Then I get to shield 1. Heck yeah, let's do that. And then I can dash and do a regular move. So sure, let's go to there. I'll let him play with everybody up there. And I get to upgrade, which, doesn't matter. Because I'm never going to get them. So yeah, I'm not even going to worry about doing it. All right, but then for this final action, I'll go here. So I can slide one of my tokens. I get a card, which is nice to have as we go into the final round. This one lets me beat up 2 grunts for a single action, which there aren't very many left on the board. I'm not sure how that good will be. Oh, and then until the end of the turn, your attacks or your grunt attacks can target spaces adjacent. Yeah, I don't know if that's actually good. I might just discard it for an aggression, although I think I already have 9. Okay, but that was draw a card. I can slide one of my tokens and defend one of my tokens. Definitely for the defend, I'll do that one. And then I could slide into here, but I feel like I'm definitely going to have enough aggression just to beat up his token and put mine in its place. The other places are looking pretty good, so maybe I'm not going to slide. All right, so we'll stop there. This is big. He still gets to go first. Okay. Oh, man, he has more than I thought. He has 6, and I have, oh, God, 6, 9, 11, which, again, it caps at 9, so I wasted some. But that's okay. So, boop. And I think I can discard this to get a 10th, because they have a 10 spot there, even though they say... And yeah, I just really don't think... There's like 4 grunts left in the entire world. Well, actually, you know what? I think it will save me time, because I don't have to move into the space where like he is with the grunts, so I will keep that. All right, and then like I said, he's getting 6, and he goes first. So he's just going to do 1 turn, then I'll get to respond and try to kill some of those things, and then I'll get another turn and score. And he's resetting, and he is literally scoring nowhere, so everything is in play. Definitely love that to be the start of things. All right, he's trying to go to 1, and his first skull is vet. So he's going to destroy a token where he is. There isn't one. He's going to put 1 down where he is, which won't score yet because there's 3 factions. Then he's moving to 1 where he already is. Oh, that was interesting. Okay, now for his second spin, he's going to 2. And we gotta find... There we go, a punch. Okay, punch. He'll beat up one of the grunts where he is. He'll put down a token, and he'll re-steal things. So he'll beats up one of them, and then one of these becomes shielded. That's, yeah, the only double on the board. He's actually pretty much out of tokens because he still has so many in queens and such. Okay, and for his last spend this time, he's trying to go to 5, and he's getting one of those, which would, again, destroy my things. I'm getting pretty lucky here. I get to put in one of his down, which doesn't really matter. Oh, and then he is going to 5 where I am. You know, that's actually kind of interesting. I could spend all 3 of mine just to punch him. I get to send him to any space I want, so I could put him like on 14 where he clearly won't do anything. And then he'll have to waste at least 1 card teleporting back, and I would get a guarded one in this space. You know what? Honestly, I like that. So I'm going to spend my first 3 of my 9 to get rid of him and put that down. And sure, I'll just put him all the way over in 14. All right, let's see how well he recovers with his... last few spends. He's trying to go to 3, and he gets that, which will move him. First, he destroys a token. No, he puts down a token, which doesn't matter, and then he moves to 3. Okay, then he's going to 4, but he's going to punch. Oh, crud. He does damage to mine. He puts down his own. This actually is not working out great, and then he does pull back this one and this one. And that is his last action before he scores. Oh, wait. So he's scoring in 3, and that's it. All the rest are like either 3 factions or other stuff going on. Okay, and he's trying to go to 4, which is down from where he is. Okay, and he gets a shield. Okay, this isn't too bad. He puts another token here, then he moves down to 4, and he hurts my thing, but doesn't destroy it yet. Okay, and then he's scoring, not here, 3 factions. Yes. That's the only one, actually, because there's 3 factions here, too. So he gets a single point. Yeah, I might do it. I might actually beat this guy, which is going to be great. They do have ways to make the game even harder, by the way. Not that I'm counting my chickens yet, but I do have some confidence. So yeah, if I do win, it is possible to make the game even more challenging. All right, now, since he's out, I just get to spend my 6 aggression in like whatever order I want. All right, so what I want to do, I want to destroy his thing here. I want to... get my stuff up in there so I can score the max points, and then I just want to run around. So for 2, I can get rid of his token, which gets me another one of mine. That gets me to 4 aggression. I can free dash over to here. I got to spend 1 to actually walk in here. Or no, let's not spend 1 to walk in here. Let's spend 1 to use Cold-Blooded Killer so I can punch this guy from where I am and get a token down, although I'm still not scoring there, I just realized. Oh, shoot, you know what I just realized? Like, a long time ago, I had marked him and then forgotten. In the final version of the game, each of the factions is going to have a boss captain that can never be removed from the board, and I marked him with these little black lines and then totally forgotten. When he had gotten defeated, he should have gotten moved and not removed, which happened a billion years ago, so whatever. All right, so I have 4 aggression left, so I could dash in here for free, and then attack this twice with 2 aggression each time. That would get rid of it, add another fear there, and lock in my full 5 points. So yeah, let's do that. So 2 and 4. That's my last fear token, by the way, so I don't really know what I'm going to do. Oh, never mind. I don't get to do anything else. Like, he's going to get to respond before the next fear phase, but I don't get to. But yes, I'm getting max 5. Heck yeah. So that is the end of the game. In competitive, we would just score these things again, but the bot gets to respond because, they haven't been able to touch things, whereas a player would have been able to do more stuff in Queens and the Bronx, theoretically. That's what he's going to do. Add to this more basic difficulty. He's going to do 1 Queens activation and 1 Brooklyn activation before they score. So let's see how this goes. So Queens, he wants to maybe do 12, although he might not move. Remember, it depends on which card he gets. Okay, he did get a movement 1. Oh, wait, shoot. I'm sorry. I got to reset them first. What am I doing? So it's not 12. Oh, it is 12 because all of them are eligible because he's scoring in all of them. Movement as a move there and punt somebody. I mean, there's not really much for him to do in Queens anyway. All right, but Brooklyn, I have to actually reset correctly. So there's a lot of 3 factions. He's not scoring he is already scoring in 8. That's literally the only one that is taken out. So he's going to try to go to 10. And he is doing a punch. Oh, which is the worst thing he could have gotten. He just stays where he is and gets stuff back. All right, let's do the final scoring. So yeah, Queen still sucks for me. He's getting 4. I'm getting 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I should pull it out in Brooklyn, right? He's getting, so neither of us score that one. Neither of us score that one. He doesn't score that one. So he gets 1 and I get 3. Dude. I am so freaking happy that worked out. Wow. Okay, cool. So that was a full solo game of Grendel versus Argent, which is a much tougher game, but again, I could have made it even tougher with some of the optional things. So yeah, what do I think of this one? I think this game is really, really cool. I really like it. It does remind me a bit of, again, Root, one of my favorite games of all time. Except Root, as much as I like the Clockwork Automa, it is quite a lot to kind of deal with. And to really make the game interesting, you have to have multiple solo factions going against you at once. This one works lovely because you've got the NPCs filling out the board and giving you the stuff to do, so that what you are doing in your game feels basically identical to how it would be otherwise. But what you have to do to face off against the different bots is drastically different. Like playing against Argent versus the mob versus the police. Well, maybe I won't say drastically different. Like the mob and police are kind of similar. Argent and Grendel are kind of similar in that they are like solo people putting down tokens as opposed to people putting down like a whole bunch of stuff. But then I think there's also like a press faction coming. Like they have a lot of extra stuff that was added in the crowdfunding campaign that's not in this prototype. So yeah, I'm really liking this. The factions I played play super differently. Grendel's got the little bag pulling thing and the upgrading. Very fun. Really cool choices here. And you just kind of see that and this is true for all the factions, you just get like a lot of combo-tastic, fun little tactical things to pull off. Argent has the same thing with his push your luck element, and I'm talking about as a player, not just as a bot. So playing the factions feels highly different for the player. Again, the bots are different, but playing against like the police versus the mob is different, don't get me wrong, but it's not like crazy different. But playing as the police, which is kind of a rondel mechanic. Yeah, so they have this rondel mechanic where they're moving these 2 police cars and they can upgrade their actions and they can also arrest pieces to get different bonuses. The mob, meanwhile, is rolling dice for dice placement, and they also get bonuses, and they have this like big expanding action they can take that gets better the more racket tokens, the more of their tokens they put down, but their tokens are very easy to destroy and like have really big negatives when they get attacked by people. So just highly, highly different things you're doing as the different player factions, and every single one I've had tons of fun with. And then the solo mode works really smoothly. Well, I mean, I'll say really smoothly. It does depend on the faction. Like you saw, for Argent, I was having to flip a lot of cards, potentially resolve 3 or 4 of them at a time. You do have to flip a bunch of these cards and like reset them and check where they're winning. I don't think it's very fiddly, but you just watch the video. You can kind of decide for yourself how it seems and how it feels. Now, probably the biggest potential negative is the swinginess for the bot, because like I said, I got very lucky in lots of things here. Like which cards came out when he got these ones that shuffled all his cards back in to make his turns bigger, which locations came out when, if he went to the ones that I really needed him not to attack. Even when he was in a place, like did he actually pull the card that would make him attack? Did he get the right actions to put aggression in? The bot is sort of a brute force method. It is semi-intelligent because they are trying to go to places by the reset mechanic where they are not already winning. But besides that, they're just kind of moving around and doing a bit of everything and trying to hopefully win. In the last game, they destroyed me, although again, I didn't play nearly as well. But in this game, I managed to win by a couple points. But the bots in Root are the exact same thing. Like a lot of bots in this kind of game are either going to be incredibly complicated, like playing a coin game with those bots, or this method where they're a little bit brute force and they might make dumb decisions, but it tends to even out. And I think it's tons of fun. I definitely prefer this method. So yeah, this game is great. Won me over, at least so far, playing the prototype, and it looks like it's just going to get better with the new stuff coming. And yeah, Off the Page Games continue to be maybe the most consistent company for me. They did Harrow County, which was another asymmetric kind of like area control fighting game. I loved that one. Core of Discovery was one of my favorite games, absolute favorites from last year. That one's awesome. Mind Management was great from them. This one is great from them. Yeah, they're just doing amazing work, and I think this is another example of just how skilled they are at design. So I can't wait to play more of this, see the new factions in the final release. I just think this game is great. So go check out the campaign page. You can still late pledge, I think, until the end of February. And that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. And a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Steve Wren, Miles, KCW, Andrew R., and Chris C. We'll see you at the next stop.